Hello, my friends. It's Rev Pat Bessie. Wow, who would have thought you would be seeing me at 4 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon? Well, I hope that you are joining us because today is a very special day. It is Giving Tuesday, and we are doing something extremely special. It is called Meet and Greet. And we are meeting and greeting some of our old friends who have been part of our community for a long, long time. And we are here to remind you that we have a huge goal that we're going for and that you can help us to meet that goal. So I'm going to right now bring on our very first guest. She is someone that I have known for the last 30 years, and she just continues to bless our community every single year. So I am bringing on for us right now, Julie Thompson. Hey,
Hello.
Julie,
Nice
how
to be
are
here.
you?
I'm great. Thank you very much for having
Well,
me. I'm in the
thank
Midwest
you. Thank you. Yes, you are coming to us from Wisconsin.
from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Is it cold out there?
It's sunny and cold.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're sunny. We were sunny too, and it was like 25.
Yeah,
But it's winter. We expect that when we live in these kind of places.
that's right. I like the contrast coming in
Yes,
and getting warm. That's
yes.
what I like about it most.
I do too, honey. And so I have a few questions that I would like to pose to you, and we'll have a little time to chat. And then you're going to bless us with a song. All right. So, um, as I mentioned in my intro, I have known you now for over 30 years. And when I first met you, you were part of Unity of Greater Portland.
That's right.
And then you moved away. So tell us what brought you to Unity to begin with.
At the time, I was in college actually, and was with my boyfriend at the time, Chris, and we both had started to read things like the Seth material, and or he had actually he introduced me to it. I
Mhm.
had grown up quite evangelical Lutheran uh, kid, and he was more New Thought. And when he shared that with me, it was like a lightning bolt hit me. I thought, wow, wow, big world, bigger
Yeah.
world than I had seen before.
Yeah.
And so from there was a quest to find a place that would match that
Mm.
inner expansion that I was having. Meanwhile, I'll just say my Lutheran music choral director from where I had grown up, she heard that I was going to Unity or going to a place that, it was different. And I was looking at the idea and the concept of reincarnation and had these different thoughts. And she was worried about me. And I'm like, don't, no, don't worry. Don't worry. I'm good. But really what brought me, we went to many churches in Portland.
Mhm.
uh, we just made a quest. Every Sunday would go to a different church, try out, every kind of church, evangelical, Bible focused and all that. And we got to Unity and we sat together at Unity and we just looked at each other while the things were being said. And we said, this is it. This is it. It was
Mhm.
one moment in time where it just was so clear that it matched up sort of the balance of metaphysical and accepting other religions, not saying that we're the best and that's the only way, the only path. So there
Mhm.
were so many pieces of it that just fell into place. And yeah, so I guess I was still in college at that time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that story. And and that is a story that many people share. It's like when they come through the doors, they know they've come home. And that's exactly what you're describing is that feeling of I found my tribe.
Yeah, yes, it was just amazing, an amazing experience after the searching that we had done. We thought,
Hmm.
here it is in the bookstore, and
Yeah.
it was pretty cool. Audrey McGinnis was the
Yes,
minister.
Audrey was my minister too the first time I walked through the doors, and she stays with me a lot. I can hear her
Can
in my
you?
head.
With that cute Southern accent she has.
Yes, yes, yes. So tell me about your musical career. Have you always been a musician?
Uh, no, well, I was a voice minor at USM
Okay.
and studied classical music. And but my major was communication, and started off working downtown Portland, organizing all the events that people are familiar with. I don't know if they still have the Chili and Chowder Challenge. Actually, the Old Port Festival's no longer, but I organized that. So
Wow.
yeah, those were the lots of things involving the businesses downtown or in the Old Port of Portland, and noontime performance series. And actually, that is the what happened is I was hiring musicians, so I met a lot of musicians. But one musician heard me on the telephone, and that those were the days when we had, real telephones.
Yeah.
So, and I would do my best because we didn't. That organization was nonprofit, didn't have much money. We were all asking for money. We needed money to run the programs, and
Which
so
is why
having a
we're here
I
today.
know, I know. I was just thinking about that at this moment. I was like, so funny. It's such a was such a wonderful organization like this,
Hmm.
but they didn't. The city wasn't assisting. It was you just had to ask for people
Yeah.
for money. So then I did have to ask musicians to come at a lower rate than they were accustomed to. So I asked this person from New Hampshire if he would come sing because I was starting a children's noontime performance in Tommy's Park. They had not had any music for kids, it was all bands and for adults. So I started asking for music for children. And so he sent me some music, and it was amazing. Like the writing was far heads above the average songwriter. And he said, well, the singer on there, the woman that I'm singing with, we're not working together anymore. So would you still like me to come? And I said, yeah, please do come and sing those songs. But he said to me, your voice are you a, and I said, singer? Yes, I'm a singer. I'm always like running from thing to thing, finishing people's sentences. And of course I was using the phone like like, would you please come to Portland? It's like doing my best to use all my voice for uh, anybody just to because you didn't have any video and you didn't anyway the story back
Hmm.
from that time. So he came up and actually he said, well, let's sing together and see how it matches up. So I took a break at lunch and we sang together, and it sounded great. And then we thought, well, maybe let's do this. So that's where it actually started, where I started
Wow.
working professionally, even though I had sung at weddings and things like that. Um, and that was 10 years that I worked with him. So
Wow.
that started me off. And then so many other, I won't keep
Yeah.
going, but that's
Yeah.
the beginning of being a professional full-time musician singer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I know that you're doing that a lot in where you are now. And we're blessed usually to have you at least once a year, sometimes twice a year. So when you come to Maine, and Maine is home, is that correct?
That I'm a native Mainer, yes. Even though I
And you
was
grew
born
up
in
where?
Augusta, Georgia. My dad was in the service.
Okay. Where did you grow up in Maine?
Augusta.
Augusta.
Yep,
Okay.
Augusta,
All right.
Maine. Yeah.
All
And my
right.
father
Wow.
was the mayor in the 80s, and my mom was the librarian of the public library there,
Wow.
the head,
Wow.
the director of the library. Hmm.
Wow. So you come back every summer to spend time with family, and when you do, you come to us because you're family. Uh,
Yes.
so
Yes.
what are when you come? Is there anything that stands out for you that you remember when you've been here in the past? Any particular memory of anything?
Well, there's first feeling is just that I always feel surrounded by love,
Hmm.
supported.
Hmm.
And because it's been so many years, because I've been away, I've lived away for like 25 years now,
Hmm. Hmm.
and been very grateful to be able to come back, and twice a year before COVID, and since COVID, really once a year. But um, so I've gone through, I was married in that church,
Hmm.
then I went through separation, divorce, family things, business things, difficult living situations here, financial, I've been through so much in those 25 years. And I think of something that was really important to me is that I still was welcome. I could cry again right now. I
Mm,
was welcomed there no matter where I was at,
mhm,
financially, emotionally,
mhm.
whatever. I was still welcome. I remember this is uh, Jesse, Reverend Jesse's time when I would come and just cry,
Yeah.
sit in the front row and cry, and then it was my time to sing, and then I could sing, with my eyes
Yeah.
wet like
Yeah.
they are now,
Yeah.
and then sit back down and cry again all through
Mm,
service. And
mm,
I guess that's uh, kind of intense, but of course a very strong memory. And but I was so felt so supported. Like that was
mm,
the place I could do that.
mhm,
And that's really important. And I do think of there's somebody that's in my mind that I remember her coming and crying. Well, at first she was stone cold.
mhm,
Nobody, she didn't let anybody near her,
mhm,
and people were trying to reach out, and but she was there. And then she started helping.
mm,
And then I saw her tear up in times. And then she
mm.
would just be, every Sunday, she would just be in tears.
A
And
puddle.
people just supported her. And then I saw her, you know, get stronger. And now
Mm,
she was the one supporting other people.
mm,
And
mm,
I don't know where she is now, but I do
mm,
remember that so
mm,
clearly. And
mm,
especially when I would come back and see the growth that had happened,
mhm,
or that people had moved through. And I really
mhm,
feel because of the loving, strong community that
mm,
your unity, that you have built there,
mm,
that it buoys people up and gives them
mm.
opportunity to experience their own pain and not run away.
I can't tell you the number of people that say, the first times I came there, uh, I just sat and cried.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
And that was just, I mean, it is what happens. And so it's really, really, really powerful.
It
Um, and,
is.
and it's safe. That's the thing, the safety of being able to be there.
And it shows that it's not, I mean, therapy is wonderful, but that sort of family
Mhm.
community support is its
Yeah.
own therapy. It's,
So tell me what you're doing now. What's exciting you now?
oh goodness. This morning I sang to children. With children,
Mm,
that always excites me. They're so adorable and
mm,
fun and learn so much. I taught them singing inside their head because it's a musician thing to do. It's called audiation. So I had a 2.5-year-old say to me today, we did Itsy Bitsy Spider, we sang it, and then usually I say, now we're going to audiate it. And I said, which spider do you want to do? And we do the big spider and little spider. She said, inside head spider. She's 2.5. So she wanted to, so we just did the motions. But anyway, that excites me every time I get to work with,
mm,
with
mm,
children because they are so much fun. Um,
mhm.
and I just did a project, actually, I just finished a project where I learned a whole bunch of Maine songwriter songs. So I did Schooner Fair and Annie Clark and Dave Mallet. And I did Brownie McIntosh, who's the friend that
Yeah.
in New Hampshire. And so I did a whole program on Maine, and a guy who's from Maine who lives here opened and did Marshall Dodge, the
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
Maine stories. So I guess that's something that's still reverberating because I just did that show at the coffee house here, and people really enjoyed it so
I
much.
bet they did. And it's the funniest thing because just the other night, my son and I were having a conversation, and we knew some of the singers in Schooner Fair. He did anyway. And I said, "Where are they?" And he looked and he said, "Oh my God, they're playing somewhere. So they're still out there performing."
The brothers, yes,
Yes, the brothers. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Isn't that interesting? Oh, wow.
I know.
Well, so maybe when you come to Maine this summer, we might do the coffee house of the Maine things. Wouldn't that be the best?
That's a great idea.
Wouldn't that be the best?
That would be. Now
Ah,
that's what I'm excited about.
ah,
And
yes, that
did you
would be
see the
great.
T-shirt? I'm sorry, I
I
interrupted.
see that. I've got your back. I love it. It's adorable.
But he
Yes.
should be. Whoops, he should be smiling.
Yeah.
She'd be glad that.
Ah, well, you're going to bless us. Is there anything else that comes to mind before I ask you to sing um,
I mean,
that you want to talk about?
you asked some really good questions that opened up a lot of good, intense
Yeah,
memories.
I love it. Because I'm learning things that I didn't know,
Hmm.
and what the audience probably doesn't know either is that you and Chris sang at my wedding.
Yes.
That was at Unity.
And that
So
was how many years ago?
that was in 1994.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
amazing.
long time ago. Long time ago, girlfriend.
Hmm.
Wow. All right. Well,
Yeah.
if you want to give us a tune or two, we'd love to hear it.
I'd love to sing a song. I've got one for you, and true to form, um, I just learned it.
I love
Oh
it.
my goodness. Uh, Sometimes, I say, Spirit, what should I do? And sometimes I get like, you start researching, and then I find a song, and I'm like, yeah, but I've never sung that one. That's okay. Do it anyway.
Yeah.
This is Bruno Mars. Count on me. I'm going to do the chorus slowly so that the audience
Can
will start
sing with
singing
me?
it from home and then
Okay.
get it. So the chorus is, you can count on me like 1, 2, 3, and I'll be there. I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, yeah. Ooh, ooh. Okay, that was your training. If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. We'll find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, and I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, yeah. Ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah. If you're tossing and you're turning and you just can't fall asleep, I'll sing a song beside you. If you ever forget how much you really mean to me, every day I will remind you. Find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, and I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, ooh, count on me like 1, 2, 3, and I'll be there. And I know when I need it, you can count on. I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's the way what friends are supposed to do. Ooh, ooh, you can count on me 'cause I can count on you.
Ah, that's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh
You're
my
welcome.
gosh. Just hearing you just makes my heart just sing. And
Oh,
so I'm
wonderful.
so, so grateful.
Thank
And
you.
I'm going to ask Jessie is in the background here. I'm going to bring her on stage if she'll let me. Jessie, there she is. Hey,
We can't hear you yet, though.
we can't hear you.
She said, "Oh, Julie,
Can we hear you now?
you're on mute.
You're mute.
Or muted."
You got to unmute. I don't know if I can unmute your mic. I can't unmute it. You have to.
On the left underneath.
I'm catching her off guard.
She's like, this
I
is a
just
little
see you there.
early
I
for
thought,
my
wow.
schedule.
Oh, and I'm going to read. I don't know if you can see the chat, but Star Stevens just put in something
Oh, Star.
blessing you and me. And
Oh, look, I didn't look at the comments at all, but now I will. That's
yeah,
nice.
as we get Jesse unmuted here.
Hi. Hi, Carol and Mary and Hannah.
Jesse's
Star,
having
thank
difficulties
you,
figuring
Star.
out how to unmute.
And you said last year, Elizabeth, you had done
Yeah,
that with her.
yeah.
And Elizabeth has been so wonderful to me. So many times I think of when I wasn't feeling well and she would send good
She
healing
always
energy.
seems to know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's. I guess we're not going to be able to get Jessie because she's struggling here. So I don't want to hold you up because I know you've got a busy life as well. So
Here, I'll give you the view of my where I am. Let me see if I can do it. There's my.
oh my goodness, look at.
I can't quite do the back. There it is. Yeah.
Here
Pete
she
Seeger's
comes.
up on the wall.
Yeah. How many guitars do you have?
They're all different. I have a bass guitar, mandolin, um, a viola that I got out of a trash can.
Oh wow.
I used to play viola a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4-string guitar, ukulele. Um, so I don't even know. I guess I could 8.
Well, I know when you come, you usually have 2 or 3 that you're using at the time with us. So, and are you still doing nursing home gigs?
Yes, senior communities,
Senior
and they're all
communities.
different. They're independent. They're assisted living. They're memory, and I love it. I love it because I do different genres of music. I do jazz. I do whatever. When I come to Maine, I always work with Neil Lamb, who's a 7-string guitar
Right.
player,
Right.
and we do a lot. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
bread and butter for me. But
Good.
sometimes people will say, "Oh, that's so nice that you do that." I'm like,
You got it. You had it,
I love
Jess.
it.
I think you got it, Jess. Speak to me.
Do I have it?
Yes, you do.
Do I have
Hey.
it?
Yes, you do.
You know, my problem here is I'm dealing with a very old laptop with an external keyboard and then the mouse, and I just couldn't get them all navigating together. I guess it'll get me to buy a new computer.
I was just going to say, honey, give yourself
So
the
you
gift
can hear-
of something easier.
You can hear me?
Yes. Can you hear us?
I just bought a new car. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We can. Yeah. You just bought a new car?
I just bought a new car.
All right. Wow.
So I guess computer should be next, right?
That's right. That's right. Well,
Happy
I thought you might
community.
want to say hello to Julie.
Oh, I'm so pleased I finally got this together down here because you were there when I was first up there in Maine. And whenever you came, it just graced the sanctuary and our time together. And then when you would come back every year, it was a highlight for me. So blessings to you.
Thank you so much. I've been lucky to come back and be in both of your presence, to be in the presence of, it went back to Karen Cox was the piano
Right.
player.
Right. Yes.
Yep.
And then, of course, Wiley, which I had a blast with. And then Dina's like sister to me. I mean, when I come and sing with her. In fact, Carol Holt asked that Dina and I do something at her senior community. We haven't worked it out yet, but I would love to do that.
And
Wonderful.
Julie, before that was Janet, the elderly woman that played piano in the congregation. Were you there for her?
Janet, of course. Thank you.
And I can't remember the man that would play the,
organ.
what was his name?
Yes, that played the organ.
that played the organ. Those were the two that were there when I very first
When you
came.
very first
Was it
came.
Joe Zinni?
Yes, it was.
Oh, you guys.
Yeah. And I remember also oh, his name just went out of my head. He lives right down there with you now.
Why?
Don Necco.
Don Nickel. Nickel,
Don.
yes, yes.
Of course.
Don Necco was my savior. Every time I needed a musician and didn't have one, or someone got sick, all I had to do was call Don, and there he was.
I love having something like that in your back pocket.
You got it. You got it.
Wow. Well, this is fun, my friends. I thank you both so much. And Jesse, we'll see you later on. You hang out with me and I'll pull you back on anytime. So
All right, I'll be here.
because it's
I'll
so
get it
nice
up
to-
so it'll be easier.
Yeah. So blessings to you both, Julie. Again, thank you. Let me know when you're coming to Maine. You always have a spot, you know.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
Thank
you.
you. Love you guys. Wow. Well, that was a lot of fun. And thank you for the folks that are putting stuff in chat. So happy to see your names. And Carolyn, yes, nice to see both Julie and Jesse. And you know what? This is going to be on forever. So we can always go back and listen to it another time. But we're very, very blessed. And so now I have another person that I would like to bring on, and she is someone that is currently part of our community. And she is, when Jesse was talking about calling on Don Necco, this lady is somebody I can call on whenever there is a need for service. And that is Nancy Sawyer. So Nancy, I'm going to bring you on right now. Hello, my friend.
Hello, Rev Pat.
How are you?
I am doing very well.
Wonderful, wonderful. We are so glad to see you. And first of all, I would like for you to share with the community how long you've been coming to us and actually what brought you there.
Well, off and on, I had been coming for years. The very first time I went to any Unity was actually out in Washington State when my son Randall was living there.
Okay.
But I started coming with him, gosh, probably 10 years ago. I would come with him on special occasions. And then I started coming myself. And then the COVID happened and I started attending online.
Yes.
And when we were finally able to come back in, I knew that this is the place my spirit was meant to be enhanced by. There's a long, weird sentence. I knew it was the place for me. And so I have been coming to Unity ever since.
And what is it about it that draws you back?
The love, the positivity, the good humor, the uplifting spirit. Whenever I am there, most especially when I'm in the building, but even when I'm watching online, and that hasn't happened for a long while, but it's part of what got me through COVID. And, the times that we had to be away. And now that we're back and live and have been for quite a while, I find it the place that I am really happiest, shall I say. And one of the reasons that I love to be there is that I get my fix every time I step into the building because the positivity goes with the building. It just does. So
Yes. And I know one of the things that you have had in your life, you've had some health challenges.
Yes.
And I think I've heard you say that you attribute some of the success in what's going on for you is because of the atmosphere of being in a positive environment. You want to talk a little
Yes.
bit about that?
Yeah, I have recuperated entirely from cancer that I had for several years, including 2 little tumors that persisted even after the major parts had been, removed and so forth. And I, I know that I am still here for a purpose. And the 2 little tumors have even disappeared. So I'm now cancer free. They can't say that I'm cured, but I've got to tell you, when I went to see my cancer doctor the last time, which was early last month, he and I had quite a discussion because he's a very upbeat person. The first thing he does when he comes in around the screen, because I'm already in my preparation for exam, is to give me a hug. And I told him, because he didn't expect me to be alive at this time, because I did have metastatic disease. And so when I stopped having treatment and I kept living beyond, some of the nurses said, we've had people live a couple of years beyond this particular treatment. Well, I'm past 3 years and I'm still going, and I feel better than I have in a long time. And so my doctor and I had quite a talk about it. And he said, I have talked about you to some of my other patients. And he said, because I told them, she stopped treatment, but she's been going to a spiritual place. I don't know that he remembered that it was called Unity. And she's first was living with cancer and now is still living, period.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has picked up on the fact that, hey, we just never know what's going around.
That's
and
right.
So it's been very helpful. And the other thing that, even though it's not necessarily my thing, my health thing, but when I participate in Power of 8.
Share a little bit about what the Power of 8 is.
Okay, Power of 8 is the idea that you gather 8 or more, but it can be any number, together, holding an intention, a positive intention for the health of someone, for the mental upping of someone. We've even held the positive intention for the country in these difficult times. And not only do we hear back from folks who have directly been held in the intention that things are going better, or things are looking up, or it's, I've the person who asked for someone else that they're doing better. Things are happening. And I too get positivity out of that, because we're all in it together. So the spirit, and even though it's on Zoom, you can feel it. You can feel it. You can envision what's going on. So it's a really positive experience.
And what I love about the Power of 8 too, this comes out of not Lynn Twist, but Lynn McTaggart's work.
Yes. Mhm.
And what I absolutely love about it is that it is exponential. You know, the more people that come together, the energy just expands. And so it's that whole, everybody holding for the same intention just magnifies it. You
Mhm.
know, we talk about often what we focus on expands. Well, that's exactly why we hold intentions for the highest and best, or for healing and wholeness and whatever, knowing that it's expanding beyond just us. It's just going out, and it's such a it's like we do it, we're online for a half an hour, and yet that half an hour is very powerful for whoever we're holding in our thoughts during that time. So it's
Yes.
it's a wonderful program.
And we've even expressed the thought that there are most likely across the country, maybe around the world, others that are doing the same thing at the same time. With all the billions of people
Yes.
that there are,
Yes.
I'll betcha.
Yeah, I'll bet you too. So I have another question for you, Nancy, and that is, can you think of a time or a experience at Unity that really was a moving experience for you?
I'll tell you, the very first time that I came back in and I saw Be Still up on the Palladium window that's behind the pulpit, I thought, absolutely, I could feel the power and the draw of, yeah, this
Mhm.
was a place. I mean, I've been a quote churchgoer for most of my life, but I've got to say that Unity is the most spiritually drawing. I can feel it. I can feel it. Deep within me.
Mm.
So that's moving. And then, even though it's not in the Unity building, our women's retreats.
Mhm.
And this last one that we had in October, the time flies, sitting with the people that I did at the table that we sort of gravitated toward, it just, yeah, it was deeply moving, because we had folks who had come from out of state. We had someone who was fairly new to coming to Unity, who has her own special gifts, and someone that I've gotten to know through our own Unity. And we had some of the most fascinating conversations over meals.
Mm.
And they were also, uplifting and inclusive, if we want to say that. It was like, wow, the power.
Yes, yes. Another area that you are very connected into, and that is volunteering and service work.
Mhm.
And can you elaborate a little bit on why you do that? What does that? How does that support you?
I feel that I can give even because, all right, when I still had the 2 little cancer tumors, when I still had cancer, I started by doing the cleanup after coffee hour, because I knew it was something I could do.
Mm.
And it's gone from there. And I just feel like this is something, this spirituality, this being with the people I am and so forth, is something I want to keep in my life. And I know that we're all in it together. And although there are not as many folks in the building as before COVID, it's still, I think it's important for each of us to do what we can. And while I can do what I can, I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. And what I notice, and I know that this is probably true for you, is that especially those that stay for coffee and stuff, and then all of a sudden 2 or 3 people will be all in the kitchen helping pick up and do all that stuff. So it's another time of conversation and bonding.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
And that's where I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, and you know, I certainly appreciate when there are others. And yeah, absolutely. It's a time for you know, even if it's this is what goes over here and so forth, so that we're in sync and that type of thing. It's a very important time. I know Cindy has been helping me out many times. I sort of feel like, gee, we ought to put her name with mine as the after coffee hour and so forth, when the other Nancy Burnett, takes care of setting up other stuff and everything. And Nancy and I have gotten to talking because we know there are some things that we want to do. In fact, got to tell you, I've brought the drawer home, the silverware drawer, because the bottom's coming out of it. And I know we've got some wood glue and some nails, and Nancy showed me, you know, that look at what's going on. So I took all the silverware containers out of that and I brought that home when I brought the tablecloths back in today.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You just cracked me up. But this is part of what community does.
Yes.
This is the part that I think is so important, is that it doesn't fall on just one person.
Yeah.
Everybody can play a part, and that's what creates that beloved community. That's where, and I've said it so many times, it's sitting around breaking bread together, having coffee together, talking, the conversations that people are having. That's where you create the connection. You know, Sunday morning in the service is lovely.
Yep.
But you don't have that connecting with other people until you take time to stay and have coffee and share your stories and share what's going on and hear from other people. And that's where, and you specifically are such a connector, because you will talk to people. You are not shy about that. And that is so important. I know it's a good thing, because it's so important, because that gives people a feeling of being included, to being welcomed in. So I really appreciate that in you as well. So, go ahead.
Okay. Trying to, because one of my other things that, you know, I started thinking about was all the folks who are on Zoom. Okay. And, you know, whether it's due to age, distance, being out of state, being out of country.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what's going on with Wasab in Lebanon. Yes, the country Lebanon. And you know how he's doing. But now that we are turning around at the time of the offertory and sort of, you know, giving a high five to the folks at home, because we know that you're there.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
know that you are participating and how important you are.
Mhm.
And, you know, sometimes folks will come like to Thanksgiving. You know, we had the Thanksgiving meal and got to talk to some of the Zoom folks who can't always come in,
Right.
and it was so great to see them.
Yeah.
And, you know, because we don't get to see who's on. We
Right.
know only when people have said, oh, Martha being one, Martha and Ken
Mhm.
saying, yeah, you know, it's so great. We can see that folks are waving to us. And
Yes. Yes. Yes.
so anyhow,
Um, so another thought that I have a question is, what is your vision for Unity Center for Spiritual Growth going forward?
that it continues to grow, because I want folks out there to realize that it's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful when those pews are full. When the fellowship hall was full at the Thanksgiving dinner, I love that. More chance for community. Seeing kiddos coming back in, getting the word out in any way that we can,
Mhm.
that in these fraught times, which really, I mean, you know,
Mhm.
most of us don't watch much news anymore because there's nothing we can do about the stuff out there. But what we can do is offer a welcoming, safe, warm, and I don't just mean temperature, although
Mhm.
yes, we're going to be working on those heat pumps, but a welcoming place
Yes.
for folks of all ages.
Mhm.
The fact that you can very easily get into our building. There's no
Yes.
stairs to climb.
Right. Oh.
We don't have to worry about a ramp.
Mhm.
We can, you know, people come with their walkers, people come with their rollators, and so forth. And I envision seeing folks back in, but also knowing who all is out there that is attending, but we don't always know.
Mhm.
So that's one big vision, and segueing into the heat pumps that we are aspiring to. That's part of the vision too, because not only are we being ecologically smart and going with that, we've got our solar up there, having the heat pumps, having a place that is up to date and utilizing the best source of heat and cooling, because we know in the summer, Fellowship Hall gets pretty warm.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes, we do.
Yes. And in the winter, you know, the way things are now, that the church can be chilly. I mean, you know, it just can't. So having those heat pumps is going to be absolutely fantastic. And I know that we're going to end up having them.
Mhm. Mhm. Absolutely. Yes. Anything else that pops into your head that you'd like to share?
Well, I suppose to thank all of the folks who did welcome me, all of the folks who may no longer be coming out in person, may no longer be, but those years ago, I felt the welcome I felt the welcome right from the beginning, and it continues on. And yeah, having coffee afterwards is wonderful, but the greeting that we get, not only at the front door by the folks who are greeting, but we're great huggers. Now, if someone isn't comfortable with a hug, that's fine. We're not shying away from any of that. But I appreciate the hugs, and they're sincerely meant. It's not just, it is, yeah, we welcome.
Yeah. I want to share a chat that Carol Holt put in, and she was saying that, where she is at Piper Shores, that lunch is provided and it happens at noontime. And so she said if we had more food so she wasn't missing her lunch, she would, be staying more. And I just want you to know, Carol, that we are talking. We have a wonderful chef who is our AV person, and he and I are talking about at least having another meal during the month. So there may be 2 meals that happen. The potluck on the first Sunday, and probably the third Sunday would be some sort of a sit-down meal. So this is something that we used to have before COVID. And we haven't had the folks who have been willing to or been able to provide that going forward. So we're back. That's another thing that we're trying to get reestablished. So look for it after the first of the year. Yeah. And again, I know the importance of that. And the reason that I know the importance of that is because I live alone, and so many others do as well. And that means that people have their meals by themselves. And so when they can have a meal with somebody and have the conversation and stuff, it really means something. So we are working on making that happen as soon as we can. And I think that, again, it goes right back to the power of 8. When we set an intention and start holding that intention, then it grows into what we're wanting. So we see it happening. It's just being patient to wait for it for everything to come together. So.
And I see that as sort of the abundance too.
Yes.
The growth of the abundance of that I know that you talked about in your talk a few weeks ago, and feeling that, and seeing when, that sounds great, that we should maybe working on that and so forth, and that, I enjoy that too.
Yes. Yes. And we have very generous people when it comes to the potlucks. Holy cow. We have an abundance of food. And so I know that it's just coordinating and getting stuff, getting the right people in the right places, and we will make it happen going forward as well. So that will be something to look forward to in 2025. Because I know the importance of that.
Yeah.
So, anything else? I'm waiting on Deb Engel is coming on right after you. So I'm kind of holding you here, Nancy, till I see her show up.
Okay.
And for the folks of you that are online here, Deb was a retreat leader, and Nancy mentioned the women's retreat, and she was our retreat leader last year, and she was our retreat leader again this year. So she's definitely a dear friend of Unity Center for Spiritual Growth. And I'm thinking of anything else that we might want to put out to folks that they might not know.
Let's see. mostly, you know, let's see if each of us can talk to folks and say, hey, come on along with us. And you know, if you are out there, I know we had Maud and Jay that brought their 3 kids.
Yes.
And they came
yes,
all the way from Unity.
yes.
Unity, Maine.
Maine.
Yes. And, you know, I got to talking with them and so forth. And I know that, especially with snow coming, that's going to be a bit of a hike. So they'll
Mhm.
probably be, you know, on for a while. But I told them, you know, talk us up, because we want to have some more young families come in, realizing that, wow, here is something that is really fantastic. Because I used to love when the kids would come in from their time together, and we'd sing them in and they'd be up front. And, you know, we can't get the guys to stand up there, even though they come to potluck once a month.
Yeah.
I guess we haven't been able to get them to stand up front so that we can. But I do know that as middle young people, they very often come out anyhow. And
Yes.
so we're able to at least say hi to them when they come out, you know,
Absolutely.
on the first Sunday.
Yep.
And I want to see more of that.
Yes.
More of that. Gee, maybe if we have, that second lunch, maybe
Yes.
we'll be able
yes. That food always brings people.
Yeah.
That's a given. So we just have to make you know, get that moving in a positive way. So
Mhm.
and honey, I'm going to let you go. I'm sure that Deb's going to be showing up here at any moment, and I have
Alrighty.
taken you way beyond what I said I would. So I appreciate you hanging here with me.
That's okay. I've got, guess what? Turkey soup. That's just, it's at a simmer. It's got everything all in it and so forth.
Good.
And
Good. Well,
all right. My
and-
pleasure. And
Thank
I
you.
hope to see everybody on Sunday that can possibly be out.
Yes.
And
It's gonna be another good Sunday. It's gonna be weather-wise. We're gonna be good. So
yeah.
make the
Yep.
best of it.
Yep.
All right.
All
Thank you,
right.
Nancy. You're such a joy.
Okay. Take care.
Yeah,
Love
bye,
you
honey.
all.
Oh, that was fun. And Nancy is such a delight. She has given us so much of her time and attention, and I am so grateful for her. And I'm grateful. Jesse, I'm going to bring you back on. Seeing you're right there, and chat with you for a minute, because I know that some of the things that you did while you were part of while you were the minister at Unity, that you had some very successful things that you participated in. And so what comes to mind to you? I can't hear you again.
Around things that we were able to get and do
Yes.
for
What
the church.
what are
Is
some
that-
of the things? Well, I know one of the things that I want to talk to you about. Are you there? What are you doing?
I am.
You
I'm
are.
trying
Okay.
to find the mute. I mean, I haven't muted anything.
No, I can
It
hear
doesn't.
you.
It's.
I can hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can.
Okay. All right. Because I hadn't done anything.
I can hear you.
Okay. We got the parking lot for the church.
Yes. Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
The things that we wanted to do financially for the church is we wanted that people used to get sunk, said their cars used to get sunk in the mud. And so
Yes.
paving that parking lot was a big deal. And then we needed a new piano. I think it was probably when Wiley came. And the fun way that that came about, and I've been trying to think about that with your heat pump, is everybody could buy a
Uh-huh.
key for the piano. And it was just done in short
Mhm.
order because people loved the
Mhm.
music and people wanted to support
Mhm.
it. And but I don't know much about heat pumps,
Well,
about what we could do like that to get it, rolling even more. Um,
well, um, we're gonna reach our goal. I don't have any doubt about that. But one of the things that you did also that I am so grateful for, and that is the building of the labyrinth.
oh yeah.
Yes, and
Mhm.
we're in the process right now of rejuvenating the labyrinth, and we have been working on that, and that is such a treasure, that labyrinth. And so you were there when the original creating of it happened.
I'm remembering Janet's husband, I believe, and he dowsed for where to put that labyrinth that it would
Ah,
have the most effect energetically. I remember that
wow,
happening. And
wow.
yeah. Uh,
And I think it was Dick Basto that
uh-huh.
created he was the designer of it, if I got the story correctly.
I think you're right. He was an
Hmm.
engineer of some kind.
Right, right,
Um,
he was. And
are
he
the
created.
Bastos are the Bastos still on this plane of living?
No, they're not.
Okay.
They have both transitioned. And so, but we're really working at possibly doing something to honor him when we get the labyrinth all done. It may be it
Nice.
we may dedicate it to him.
Nice.
So yeah,
Um,
so we're working. The next phase of the labyrinth is creating a walkway around the outer perimeter of it so that people with wheelchairs and walkers can get up to the labyrinth and walk around it.
that's
So
wonderful. That
yeah,
so brings to mind the inclusivity that Unity is so good and known for. And
yeah, absolutely,
yeah, that's
absolutely.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very grateful for that.
You
And
know, I'm
go
I'm
ahead.
trying to remember, but I think before the labyrinth was built there, we used to do something like that down at the end of the building, like outside of where the sanctuary big window was. We used to do something out there in that space that was prior to the labyrinth. So that's where
Oh,
it all
really?
started. Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. I don't know about that. That was not brought to my attention.
It wasn't a real formal thing, but I remember several things happening back there in that same vein of the labyrinth style.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Wow. Wow. You were instrumental in so many of the things that have transpired over the years, and very grateful. I know when you came into the community, there was a lot of pain that the community had experienced, and if it hadn't have been someone like you, I don't know that the community would have survived. So you
Thank
were
you.
very instrumental in bringing the healing energy that was needed.
Oh, thanks, Pat. At Unity Village, I was told not to take the church
Ah,
because
mm,
it had gone past its time. And yet
yeah,
I knew that I knew that I knew it was my community. And so I didn't pay them any mind.
yeah,
And
yeah.
the very first service we did, and I hope I get dates and everything right, was I think around 9/11. So the first service I ever did was a forgiveness service.
Mm,
And that sort of set the tone with a lot of things, I think, with the healing. And
mm-hmm.
yeah,
Wow. Well,
huge big circle in the sanctuary for that forgiveness service. I felt so
mm,
blessed
mm.
to be there
Well,
for that.
I know that you were very instrumental in making sure that there was a space for people to do their work.
You know, the people that did not do their work, they came back when I was first there, and it's like they wanted to be there, but they didn't do the work that we were opening for people, and they hadn't done it by themselves.
Yep.
And I don't think any of them stayed.
Yep.
So if you don't do your work, both for for personal or bigger things,
Right.
you leave.
Exactly. Yep. That is so true. And I had a thought when we were just talking about that, and it was, oh, I know what it was. Oh, Yvette said I was there in that circle. Oh, nice. I love that.
Me too.
And that brings to mind when you did the talking circles.
Oh,
Was that what they were called?
Speaking circles.
Speaking circles. That's what
Yeah.
they were called.
Yeah.
Yes.
And gosh, you're pulling on my brains here. People, I don't remember whether we had a topic or whether just people came and could speak their truth about things, but it was a very open, forgiving, talking about whatever was heavy on people's hearts. Maybe Yvette remembers what those speaking I tried to instigate those in other communities, and it never went. I tried to instigate the good news in other communities. It didn't go. Maine is very special with these heart-centered types of places to be able to speak,
Yes.
and be real. Not all communities have that.
And I think that's what the speaking circle, when from people that shared with me about the speaking circles, is the confidence that they began to gather to be able to speak out loud, to speak to a group, that was a wonderful way for them to begin that process. And I think that was part of why the sharing the good news. And I agree with you. I tried to implement it down in Florida, in Virginia, and it didn't go. It is definitely something that was here, that and it has a life of its own here. And so it's such a powerful tool.
It is. And if you ask me what's one of my favorite things, or the things that meant the most to me, it was the good news. And how people tied it to principle, and it ministered to me, and it never failed, which is just another little wonderful spirit thing. Whatever I was going to talk about on Sunday, that's what people would be sharing about in their own lives in the good news. It was just magical.
Well, and I have to laugh because I say that so often, is that I get so much from what is shared at the good news. That's where I get filled up. And I often say, the people that have just shared the good news they've done the talk.
I said the same thing.
That's all that was needed, because they're the boots on the ground living the principles.
Right.
And it's such and Yvette said, Jesse, you created a safe place for us to be honest about how hard it was for many of us.
Thank you.
Rub that in, girlfriend.
All right, I will.
Yeah.
And now that Yvette said that, my memory isn't so great right now as it has been. I'm working on it, coming back. But that having a safe place to share is a huge part of what's important to me, and what was important to me there. And maybe it took a while for that to come about, that when I go into a different church or something, it's not just automatically there for people to feel that safety.
Right. So let me ask you, because I'm trying to think, if was sharing the good news part of the process when you got there? Because I'm thinking it was when Audrey, I think that's where it started.
Yeah.
was with Audrey, and then and when I got back to Unity, it was still happening, and I was so excited about that.
Yeah, it was here when I came, and
Good.
I'd never seen it before any place, and it
Yeah.
was just, I always said they ministered to me, you know?
Yes. Yes.
It was
Yes.
wonderful. It was this circle of ministering and love. It wasn't
Mhm.
about Jesse
Right. Right. Yeah.
any more than
Absolutely.
it was about other people too.
Yep. It definitely, definitely was. And oftentimes, and I think of people that did share, and really heart scented stuff and stuff, tough stuff that was going on in their own lives, and then when I would hear somebody share about a healing that happened in their family, it was
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, you know, that they've applied the principles and look at the results that they've gotten.
Right.
And so it was often just, it often is every Sunday, somebody is being real and real about what's going on in their lives. So it's perfect. Perfect.
It's the best. It
Yes,
really
it
is
is.
the best. And
Yes.
there isn't another unity like this one. I know all unities have a little flavor of their own,
Yeah.
but the depth of intimacy and trust and caring that
Right.
this community has
Right.
is quite unusual.
I agree. I agree. I agree. It is a it has a life of its own, and it has an energy of its own, and it is just a safe space, just a
Yeah,
safe space. So
yeah,
so grateful, so grateful. And I know that you've spoken at other churches, and so have I. And yet coming back home is always such a I can breathe now. I'm with my peeps.
that's absolutely right. Now, if Maine and Georgia were just a little closer together,
Closer.
I would really be a happy camper.
Yeah. Do you see yourself coming up this summer?
I will work on that idea.
Okay.
I
Okay.
keep wanting to see Barbara
Yeah. Yeah.
and everybody else, but just while
Right.
she still knows who I am and stuff.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
so Nancy or Trish has been after me to do that now for a couple years, and Barbara is still going strong, and
Yes, she
so
is.
I better get up there.
Yep. 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 She is definitely doing that, and we're blessed to see her every Sunday. So
And
her and
she
you.
is so blessed to come and have Yumi be able. Pat, I remember when you didn't want any animals in that sanctuary.
Well, and yes, and that was because they weren't well behaved. I mean, when you have an animal fight, two dogs fighting in the sanctuary, it's like, whoa, we can't have this. And so,
Well,
and now it's kind of they're well behaved, the ones that come now.
well, Yumi knows how to be a church dog.
Yes, yes. And Pat Payne, her little Abby used to
Oh
come
yeah,
too, and
yeah,
she
yeah.
was just a little sweetheart. But yeah, they do have to. And I have a friend from Linda Cook from down in Kennebunk. She has a Labradoodle, and Gracie, and she's just as calm and quiet. And so yeah, I mean, if they know how to behave, they're welcome.
I get it. That may have started when Wiley came and had his little black dog, Tiffany.
Yes.
And Tiffany would come up front and she would stand right next to Wiley when he was performing. And then if I got up to do something, Tiffy would go sit in my chair.
Oh, wow.
So I would lose my seat to Tiffany, and then I would go sit in the other chair because I didn't want to move Tiffany. I'm a good codependent with the dog.
I bet you are with your cat too.
Oh, my cat, who's right here next to me. who wanted to be an only. She was in a home with that some other animals were, and she was not happy, and she was acting out in ways you would not want her in your home. So when I took her, I said I would take her if she never did that on my furniture. And she's been the best little thing in the world. But now my granddaughter has a kitten who's kind of a wild man, and it's working sort of, but I feel bad for Lily because she isn't an only anymore.
Uh-oh. Well, give him some time.
Like Kylie wanted an animal, a pet, bad.
Yeah. And I get
Yeah.
that.
I will, as long as none of that bad behavior starts showing up. Oh.
I thought I had somebody coming on, and so I'm glad that you're here chatting with me. I'm gonna see if I can get Wiley to come on now instead of later. So I'm gonna text him.
Okay. And we're using all my material that I was going to share later on. So good luck
And
with me later on.
we may just end early. That's
Okay.
okay too. There's no shoulds here. This is an experiment. And I'm having a great time. I don't know about anybody else, but this is so fun because I'm getting to reminisce and hear things that I didn't know, and I love that.
And I got to hear all those memories, right before me, and that was wonderful because it primed the pump of all the wonderful things that are Unity of Greater Portland.
Yes, exactly. And I think back to Audrey, and you never did you ever meet Audrey?
I met her once. She came into the service with her little high heels on, and so I just got to meet her that one time, but I heard stories about her that when she was living in the nursing home, that people would come in and she would minister to them. She'd say, how would you like me to pray with you? And what, how can I serve you?
Yes.
And they weren't coming for her. She was there for them.
Yeah, that was her for sure. I can remember so many early on when I first started going there. Of course, it was the house down on Columbia Road at the time. And she lived upstairs. So the downstairs, the first floor was the sanctuary, the bookstore, and the kitchen and the bathroom. And then downstairs in the lower level was where the kids would go. And she had the upstairs. And so after the service was over, people hung out. She always had a big pot of soup on the stove. Always come eat, come stay, whatever. And then one of the things that I wanted to have more connection. I wanted more of a spiritual connection in my life. And so I started coming in September of 1989. And in that first not Advent, but Lent season, she said, I'm going to start doing a Monday through Friday Lenten. Wait a minute, I'm going to answer. She said, I'm going to be doing a Monday through Friday Lenten meditation, and it will be at 7:30 in the morning. And I thought, oh my God, I asked for this, but I didn't get specific enough. 7:30 in the morning. But I said, okay, I'm coming. So there were probably 8 or 10 of us that were there every day at 7:30. That's where I met Leroy. And so then it would be over at 8 o'clock, and most people had to go off to work. And I was working with my son at the time, and I was pretty flexible. So I would stay after, and Leroy and Audrey and myself would have coffee, and we would chat, and they were my therapists. My mom, My mom
That's
was
great.
living with me, and I was having the hardest time, and they would help me. They would listen to me, and I mean, it was just amazing. And so Lent got over with, but we didn't stop meeting. We kept meeting up through October of that year because it was such
Great.
a tight knit group,
Yeah.
and we had so much fun. And so I think about that, and I think about so many things that she did. She was she was a light for sure. She was definitely a service. I mean,
Yeah.
like you said, um, and she just had the most. She was a motherly. She was very motherly, and so and then with that little southern accent of hers, it was she was something else. I can remember Leroy and I went to Burlington when she moved from Portland. She went to Burlington, and we went there one time, and this was before she had moved into the nursing home. She was in her own apartment, and we spent some time with her there. And I can hear her, and right now in my head, she was just a delight, just a delight. And
Wish I would gotten to know her,
mhm,
but I
yeah.
was told about that soup as soon as I came to the church, and they never succeeded. I think I bought chili one time, and then I think Ingrid started to come.
Yes, thank you God for Ingrid. I mean,
Oh.
she was the one that would do all the cooking for us. And wow. And
Yeah.
even today, people will talk about her yeast rolls, the yeast rolls that she would make, and anything she made was yummy. There was no doubt
Absolutely.
about it. No doubt about it.
So she's not cooking anymore. You have a chef now, it sounds like.
We have a chef now, and he is
Wow.
delightful. And he made the turkey and mashed potatoes for our Thanksgiving dinner. One turkey was just regularly cooked, and the other one was smoked. And they were delicious. It was just delicious. So, God keeps providing the right people to come in at the right times to take on whatever is we're being called into. So I'm grateful, grateful, grateful. And
That's wonderful.
yeah, I feel very blessed that we have who we have. Oh, here comes Mr. Wiley. I just texted him and he just got home. So let me pull him on. Holy cow. Look at who's here. Thank you so much, my friend, for jumping in so quickly. I appreciate it.
Woo!
Yeah.
Good. All right. Can you hear all right? Ooh,
Yeah, you just walked through the
about that?
door. I know.
How about that?
Hey,
Jingle
Lou.
bells, jingle bells. I just had the best acupuncture, cranial sacral. I am floating.
I love that. I go once a month, and I go for tune-up,
Yeah.
and I
great.
just get tuned up once a month, and I'm good to go for the whole month, and I love it.
That is great.
Yeah. So you're floating.
What I love. Okay. So you can hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Let me just check this sound.
You do whatever you need to do.
All right.
I manifested Wiley. You know that.
Tell
What's
me. She said she
I manifested
you.
Wiley. I wanted the new type music that I knew was out there that they had at the village. And
Yep.
I loved the musicians before, but they didn't
Yep.
play that kind of music.
Yep.
And Wiley came to visit with a minister he was working with, I think, in Texas.
Uh-huh.
And he played a little bit after the service, and I was green with envy. And so I think I wasn't ministerial at all. I was jealous. And I wanted that kind of music. And so I started praying and and meditating. And guess who came back to Maine to live?
And I said, I do not want a full-time job. In fact, I
Yes,
just
you
want
did.
to fill in. She said, well, let me take you to dinner. And that was it. She was not having no. All right, let me,
To Applebee's. I remember that.
all right, I'm just going to test
No, I
this
wasn't
sound. You
having
all say how it is.
Okay, dear.
Beyond the sorrow and the hardships I've endured, deeper than my inner child.
Your
You're
voice is
okay?
perfect. Your voice
Yeah.
is perfect.
Piano, can you hear it?
Yeah,
I can hear
Okay.
it.
All right, good.
yeah, yeah. So let's chat for a minute
Yeah,
before you
please
have to
talk
sing.
to me. Talk.
So what are some of the highlights that you remember, Wiley, about Unity when you were there?
There was a crazy minister there.
Oh, Wiley,
Oh,
I gotta tell you something. Julie says he needs to take echo off.
I think it is. Is it still on?
I don't know. Go to the
I don't-
audio settings and take off echo settings, she said.
Well, okay. Go to the audio.
Yep, audio settings.
Echo cancellation must be off.
Yeah.
It's off.
Okay.
It's off, but I had it on my little board.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if you're not hearing, this is what it would sound like.
Oh.
There.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just repeating what Julie says. It sounds
Okay.
great to me, but I,
All
you know.
right. Well, if you still hear it, Julie, say something.
Yeah.
Hi, Julie. What was your question
I
again?
like not being able to see who's sitting out there. I didn't know Julie
I
was
know.
still there.
Yes, she is.
Yes.
Great.
So what we were saying was I was asking you what are some of the things that the highlights that you remember?
What's really kind of funny is that when this other minister and I visited, I was very new to Unity, very, very green. Now, I'd been involved in this pioneering of a church, which was one of the most wonderful experiences of my life because there was no have to. You didn't have to, we all figured it out at once. Anyway, Donna and I visited. And again, this was all new. And we were there on a Sunday when the dancers were dancing and the
Oh, I
minister in her
forgot.
flowing gown and stuff. And they all went up and danced. And I went, really? Must you do that? No, it was lovely. It was just different because I'd come from a liturgical church background and liked meeting her. And then when things changed and it was time for me to move back up north, it was just logical to call Jesse, or I emailed you and get together. So from day one, first Sunday out, the atmosphere of the place was peaceful, joyful. People were excited. And it seemed like everyone there, just like everyone was all those things. And and then Jesse working with her was a big surprise. Because it turns out we're both a little crazy. And it was no, it was good because I come from a very strict tradition where everything's done by the book and in line and blah blah blah. And I just kind of craved to move outside of that box. And she was really willing to do that, meaning, I mean, literally one Sunday in the service, I was going to do one song and I said, that's not the right song. I mean, it was a solo thing, not a congregational. And I looked at her and said, "You mind if I change this song?" She said, "Sure." And I changed the song. And from then on, it was like we kind of got each other. And it was great to have that flow. But it was, I spent a lot of years in a charismatic church with a lot of praise, hand raising, and all that stuff, which I loved. And it was fascinating to come to this place that people actually did that on some songs and they danced in the aisles. That was a
They
shock.
still do. They
It's
still
great.
do.
It's great, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
great. And I thought this teaching about Jesus from the Unity perspective, you guys, what I saw there was an excitement for the teachings, not worshiping Jesus, but the excitement for what we're to learn from him in a way that I haven't seen since the 70s in the charismatic church, when people were very excited about those teachings. So there was a little kind of coming home to me in that, to be with people that were excited and wanted to have fun in church. It was really good. Yeah.
And you guys had such a rhythm, the two of you. I mean, the flow.
Yeah. And nothing we ever worked on.
Mm.
Yeah, it
was I think it's a soul connection, and I would guess
Yeah.
from lifetimes. And it was
Mm.
there from the very beginning. And the trust was also there. When he said, can I change this song? I absolutely knew it would be the right song. Go for it. If you think something is better, I know it's the right one,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was very special, and it just was there for us.
Yeah.
It was like coming home together almost in the church, working like
Oh,
that
yeah.
too.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've been very blessed because music is not my genre at all. I know
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
And yet I have had the most amazing people be for my music directors, because I couldn't have done it if I didn't have that.
Right.
So, when I was in Virginia Beach, I'm getting a backlash here. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
No, I can't.
Okay.
It's an echo.
I'm just looking to see if I can
Did
figure out.
Julie say anything? Is it any better, Julie? Otherwise?
I can't see what I have to do. Anyway, it's not doing it now. Anyway, I had BJ Liederman was my music director when I was down in Virginia Beach. And BJ, some of you probably will recognize the name. He's does the music for NPR radio.
Mm-hmm.
And so and he lives in Asheville now, Jesse. So maybe Todd knows him. But anyway, he was my music director, and the only thing I would have to do is help him to change wording, because he was Jewish, but he was coming from he would go more towards a Christian, and I just say, well, we got to tweak this a little bit, and it didn't take long for him to get what I was where I was going.
Yeah.
And so after that, it was, he just knew what to do. And then of course, coming here with Dina, I don't give her anything other than the talk title and a little blurb of what I might be talking about. And that's it. She takes it from there. And I am always amazed at what she brings, because somewhere in my talk, I'm talking about that. It's like, and we haven't even orchestrated it. So, it's just beautiful.
She's otherworldly.
Yeah.
She is.
Yes, she is.
And probably easier to work with than I was. I would change my talk sometimes up until the last day and let Wiley or Dina know what I changed it to. And I don't know any other music directors that it would have flowed with that as easily as, at least outwardly, they did.
I love that. If it didn't work, that would be different. If those changes were not good or helpful. That would be one of the, they were always for the best. So, yeah.
And you know, I again, I think it's because our intentions are pure.
Well,
You know,
mine are.
we
What do you say?
Mine
I
are.
missed it.
Mine are. My intentions are pure.
he's laughing. He's laughing at that. There was a time when it might not have been so pure, but they're more pure now, don't you think? You've grown in,
Absolutely.
you've grown into pure thoughts.
A miracle has happened.
We can always hope for that miracle.
You know, and that's a gift of Wiley. Besides the music, he brought so much fun.
Mm.
And you know, everybody just laughed and joked, and I don't know, he just brought this joyful energy to the service that also is a little unusual. You know, it's usually a little more quiet, and I won't say serious, but just an joyful energy
Mm.
that you brought.
And the thing is, I learned long years before. I know some magnificent musicians at church and otherwise that when they do, they just don't make mistakes in public. You know, they don't. There are none that you. Me, it is a gift. It's gonna have. I'm gonna start in the wrong key. I'm gonna start the wrong song, out of order, and I learned, particularly in churches, if I didn't make a big deal out of it or even made a joke, people loved it. And so I learned that in part to cover up my lack of professionalism, to keep it lighthearted, you know.
Exactly.
And
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
and
I
that's
have.
what
Go ahead.
that's what was so good with the two of us is that we could go very, very deep, very easily, very quickly, but it was balanced by light and playful
Mm.
and fun.
Yeah.
So
And you, I feel you being naughty up front.
I'm reading a text here from Leslie Murray, and Leslie's over in Vermont. She said, Wiley, I'm sitting under an identical painting to yours. How cool is that? Yes.
Very cool. Wow.
Who would have thought that, huh?
I know. And there's the story to this. This Robbie's had this for years. And wow, that's very cool. Yay.
That's so cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's the thing that I love about ministry too, is the she says we're twins. The synchronicity of things, watching how
Yes.
things just come about. It's like when we're talking about the good news, you know, and in the good news, people will be sharing something that you're going to be talking about in the talk, or I mean,
Yeah.
so often now I will refer back during my talk to something somebody just said because it
Right.
fits. It
Yeah.
fits, and it's
Yeah.
like, why, you know, it's
Yeah.
cool. It's very
Yeah.
cool.
Very.
Well, do you have a song for us?
I do. I'm going to try. I think part of the problem has been there's a microphone open on the laptop in here. I'm going to turn this down on the computer. Now, can you hear me still?
Yes.
Yes.
No, yes.
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 Oh, but I can't hear you. Never mind. Let's put that back. Yes. So in the times we're living, I had been initially thinking of a Sue Riley song about sharing the dream of peace, which I love, and Jesse and I've done many times. But it feels like to me, and maybe it's because what I need, this song by a woman named Cortana that I didn't know when I was there at Unity, and Jesse and I've done it in some of our meditations, is a song about coming home to ourselves and living from that place inside of us. Um, which has not been an easy thing for me in my life, and it's getting better and better. And it just this says it all in such a really, really sweet way. So it's just called Home. Beyond the sorrow and the hardships I've endured, deeper than my inner child is a part of me, untouched and free, innocent, undefiled. Despite the ignorant and callous acts of man, and all the hurt that they can bring, my attention has been drawn by the grace of God upon what has never been affected by such things. A stillness underneath the chaos, the ground in which our lives appear. Some call it presence or pure awareness. I call it home now, and I live from here. Ah, ah. And no, this does not shield my heart from future pain, or take the trauma from my youth, or exempt me from all rage and injustice on life's page. Pledge allegiance to a deeper truth, a truth that underlies the chaos, a peace from which events arise, elusive to the mind, but never hard to find, always here to realize. It's a peace that passes understanding, the very ground in which our lives appear. Some call it wealth or even God. I call it home now, and I live from here. Ah, ah, oh, ooh.
Oh, thank you. Wow.
I love
What was
that
that?
song.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Wiley,
So
whatever
what's-
you've done to the piano isn't quite as good as it was at the beginning. The voice was.
I didn't do anything.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Sorry.
One of the things I think I had forgotten till we got in the middle of it, when we used to do these, I had headset turned and plugged into this laptop for me to hear back on, and that closed this microphone.
Ah,
Made
oh
a little-
well. We still got you, honey.
There you go.
It was wonderful.
You
Good.
still were wonderful. Hey, tell me
It
what's
was
the temperature
wonderful.
where you are?
Well, oh my God, today, 50 something. It's been in the like 20s, high
Really?
20s,
Are you,
30s.
where are you in Flagstaff?
Flagstaff, we had a real big cold snap.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it warmed up today, so that's nice. But it's
Wow.
down in the 20s at night.
Okay.
Wake
We
up.
we were at 25 today. I was going to look and see what it is right now. 28 right now.
Wow.
But I expect that. I don't expect it when I hear Arizona.
I know.
Cold.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
this is early for it to be that cold during the day.
yeah. And Jesse, what's it like where you are? You're
It's
muted.
39
Oh,
here
there
in
you are.
Georgia, which is pretty chilly for
Oh,
Georgia.
it is.
Yeah.
Wow. That is chilly.
I didn't do
No,
anything.
you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Oh, look at that. You're fine.
Uh-huh.
Aha. Aha. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Well, I'm going to let both of you go. Jess, I think we'll finish up so we won't have to do over. Does that work? Perfect. Perfect.
Good. Well,
Thank
thank you
both.
for doing
Thank you
this.
both.
Thank you both so
It
much.
was great to be the
Ooh,
little treat.
that's echoey. That's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, I got that. I don't know what's causing it, but now it's not. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe when I sit way back here. That might be it. Who knows? Anyway, thank you both.
So am I
for
coming
taking
back,
the time.
Pat, or are we done?
No, I think we're done.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you?
Am I coming back, or are we done?
No, we're done. Can you hear
Okay.
me? Can you hear me?
It is. Let me think if there was anything I really wanted to share that was super wonderful, other than all of it being super wonderful. Okay. Yes. I
Okay.
can.
Oh, I got a song.
Yes, I can.
Wait a minute. Yvette just asked Wiley if you could sing A Tender Yes.
I guess we're done. This isn't.
She always asks for that.
Can you do it?
Oh,
If there's time, is that all right?
Yeah.
that would be perfect for these times.
Okay.
And connect your headset so we get you better.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Thank you, Yvette, for asking for that song.
Bear with. All right. Can you hear? As I say, you can hear?
Yeah.
The piano?
Yes, much better. Yes.
As I say, a tender yes to everything that comes to me.
It's not good, Wiley.
It's not good, Wiley. Something's happening.
I'm open to all that is. It brings me to my knees. I surrender. as I say tender to everything that
Not good.
It's not good, Wiley.
my heart is on.
I can't get his attention.
I open to
Yeah.
all that is. It brings me to my knees. I surrender. I surrender.
That didn't
Wiley,
come across very
Can
well.
you hear me? Can you hear me? Wiley, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can't hear you.
Can you hear
you're
me?
muted, Wiley. We don't hear you.
Whatever you did when you went out of the room to supposedly fix something, it messed it all up. So that didn't sound real good. It sounded great before, but when you went out of the room to fix something, this tender yes wasn't real good. It kept going out.
Another time, and you're on mute right now, Wiley. You're muted. You're muted.
Oh, I see it on the little thing. Next
I'm
to
going to
his
say
name.
goodbye to both of you. Mwah, mwah. Thank you so much.
Love you, Pat.
Love you too. Thank you. Oh, wow. You know what? Technology is great until it's not. And so, what fun though. You know, I decided when I was going to do this, it was going to be fun and I was going to enjoy every single minute of it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And that's what I love about it. And now I have another guest that I'm thrilled to be offering to us tonight. And she's been so patient and I'm so grateful. And that is Deb Engel. Deb, I'm going to bring you on. Whoops. I'm waiting. She's swirling. Hello, Meredith. Wow. Oops. Now we've lost Deb. She must have. Okay, here she is back again. Let's see. Add to the stage. Let's see. There she is.
Hi, Pat.
Thank you, honey. Thank you for being
Hello.
so patient.
Hello. Hopefully
Hi.
my internet will hold out. Absolutely. No, I'm so glad to be here. And I just hope my technology will cooperate. I'm not sure.
All
It's
right.
been a little touch and go. So
Well,
but
I understand. I understand.
we'll go with it.
Yes.
I just think it's awesome that you're doing this.
Thank you. It's so much fun. And I get to play with some of the people I just absolutely love. So I'm so glad that you're here. Tell me what's new in your world.
I'm thrilled to be here. Yeah. Well, oh my gosh, lots of things going on. Actually, this evening, you know, I've got these two lives that I live. One.
Oops. It's gone wonky on me. Oh, here she comes back again. Let's see. Okay, try it again.
Okay, sorry about that. I just don't know.
That's right.
But yeah, actually, for yeah, we'll try it. Yeah, we have a big holiday movie writing class tonight that we're doing through Story Summit. the writing school that I'm the director of. And then on, with my Course in Miracles classes and women's retreats, there's just always a lot going on. Loving the Miracles group, getting ready for a big women's writing retreat next year. And then, of course, just, all the fun of Thanksgiving and getting ready for Christmas. So we had a really good Thanksgiving with family.
Great.
So just all good. Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So what's the weather in Iowa?
It is about 25 degrees today.
Same here.
We had a little bit of snow last night, about an inch of snow for the first time. And, we had kind of a balmy fall until about a
Yeah.
week ago.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
right before Thanksgiving, it turned. So
Yeah.
now it feels like the holidays. And,
Yes.
that's not a bad thing. So
Not at all.
Yep. So it's actually kind of nice out there, when it's not too windy, too
Right.
blustery. It's a good Midwest winter. So
Great.
yeah, but I imagine you are having some early winter weather in Maine too.
It's cold. It's about 25, 28 right now. And we had just a little bit of snow on Thanksgiving, but not much. And now coming into this next week, it's going to get warm again. So
How?
who knows?
You'll have a reprieve.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, people can put up the Christmas lights in the warm weather.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I was trying to remember, and I think we had this conversation when you were here for the women's retreat. How did we meet? How did you come to Unity to begin with? Do you remember that?
Well, I don't for sure. It just seems like we've always known each other.
No.
But I think it's, I think, I was coming out to that area to do a workshop at Ferry Beach.
Yeah.
And I had been in communication with different Unity churches around the country. And so I think maybe I just reached out to you
Okay.
and said, hey, I'm going to be in the area. And would there be a,
Don't you just love that swirl? Oh my God. Oh well, she'll be back. Whoops, there she comes. There she is.
little bits and pieces. I'll talk fast. But I think that was the first time, and then I came out and just loved meeting you and, all of the members of the community. And of course, just fell in love with Leroy and your services and the church and just all of it. So, and then have felt really honored, to be a part of this community. Even though I'm way off in the middle of the country, I still feel very much a part of the community, which to me is a big testament to, the feeling of community that you create there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know that you not only are you a retreat leader and Course in Miracles, but you're also an author of several books. The one that just keeps, I think of often is the Littlest Prayer.
The only little prayer you need.
Yeah. And I can't tell you how many times I hear people saying, please heal my fear-based thoughts. Please heal my fear-based thoughts.
Yeah, it's true. It's a
Yes.
mantra. Yeah. Yep.
The other book that all of them, I mean, every one of your books is great, but the novel that you did, 20, that was an amazing story. How did that come about?
It's my first novel, my first and only novel so far. And it came about from a dream that I had I think it was July of 2012. And I woke up from this dream. I have sometimes very, very vivid dreams. And I woke up and I just immediately knew, I'm supposed to write this story. And which was very exciting for a moment. And then I thought, I hope my guides will help me write this story because, I had the real essence of it. The story it starts with a woman named Meg who's in her 50s and kind of feeling at loose ends with her life, that she decides to take what are called pearls. They're like little capsules in the story that have this property to them that after 20 days after you take them, you just pass on in a very peaceful, a peaceful passing. It sounds, kind of like a real downer, but actually, I wanted to make it a very uplifting story and to really delve into all of the issues of, what does it mean to truly live and to really choose to live our lives. Right. So when I woke up with a dream that morning, I just had the part about the pearls that they would, dissolve in ice cream or a Jello or yogurt or something. I had a little piece about Seattle because I have a brother who lives in Seattle. And I had a little piece, strangely enough, about a towel, a bath towel in my dream that just sort of lit up because one of the things that happens for Meg in these 20 days where she's not sure if she's going to live or die, everything just comes alive for her. She realizes everything has energy, even those everyday mundane, inert things in our lives that we so often overlook. And she comes to really appreciate everything in her life. But that's all I had to start with. So then I just started writing and asking for guidance, and this story evolved. And I came to really, really love the characters. And, that's the book came out in 2020, which when I found out that's when it would be released, I thought, how perfect is that? A book that's called 20, coming out in 2020. As it turns out, it was released in February of 2020, and we know what happened then. The whole shutdown. So it had a very different debut than we had originally planned for it to. But, I got so many emails from people, especially during that year, who read the book and were really struggling, as, pretty much everybody was in some way during the pandemic. And people would write and say, thank you for this book, because even though, we were dealing with life and death issues. And they said, this book has really helped give me hope. Yes. It's helped give me focus and a greater sense of appreciation. So the timing actually was perfect, even though it was very different than what we expected. And isn't that the way?
Yes.
Divine timing is sometimes very different than our timing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. If I remember correctly, her mom had died. And so she was grieving her mom's. And that was what was really she was having difficulty with. And,
right.
And it was a wonderful story. And, one of those page turners that you can't stop because it just kept pulling you in further and further. So I really appreciated that. Do you have any books in the hopper at the moment?
I do. Actually, this is very much of a preview because you're like the first, to hear this news, which is still not set in stone yet. But I've been working on a book called A Course in Miracles for Writers, because, of course, with a study of the Course that's been so instrumental in my life and so many people's lives, putting it together with writers and just, anybody who is involved in any kind of creative pursuit. As we know, we all have self-doubts about whether we're good enough or we have anything to say. But I think especially for writers, there are those insecurities about, who am I to think that I have something to say or a story that people would want to read? So this book is really all about, using the principles from the Course to tell stories that will hopefully inspire writers to feel more confident and to understand where their fears and insecurities are coming from, and that they can choose love instead. So it's really moving from fear to love specifically for writers. So I'm talking with an agent about that book, and I'm hoping here before too long, I may have something definite to announce about that one. So yeah, that's exciting. And then also Doreen Wiggins, Dr. Wiggins, who she and I co-hosted the Women's Retreat back in October. She wrote a memoir and then asked if I would work with her on that memoir. to rewrite it and get it into shape. So we'll be sending that to an agent just after the first of the year, and we're really hoping that that one will we'll have some news to announce about that here before too long as well, because it's such a powerful story. As the woman who attended that retreat, no, she really has a story, a powerful story to share. Yeah.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So I want to go back to the Course in Miracles for Writers. So I heard you say anybody that's doing creative things, that it's not specifically geared to just writing a book, but okay, because
Right. Yeah. It is, I speak to writers a lot, but it also, I did try to expand it to, painters, dancers, singers, people in theater arts, just any
right.
kind of creative pursuit.
right,
And ultimately, I think we're all creative beings, whether, accountants are creative.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
People in any kind of walk of life.
Yeah.
We're just naturally creative beings.
yes,
And so in that way, this is a book that could be for anybody because it does speak to those insecurities that we all carry.
wonderful, wonderful.
So
I
I'm
look forward
hoping,
to that.
yeah, hoping that it will.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll have an audience outside of
Yeah.
the writing community.
Yes. Yeah. And I when you talk about writing, one of the things that I have been doing some of recently is some automatic writing, and it's amazing what comes out that is, and the thing that amazes me about it is the perfection of it. It's like the wording and the way that it flows is like, oh my God. I mean, it's not something that I could sit down and write if I were asked to write that. And so it's like, holy cow, this is it's so exciting. It's not a lot, it might be a page.
It is.
Paragraph. It may be, but when I read it back after I've written it, it's like, wow, who wrote that? So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. That's when it's really coming
yeah,
from a higher place.
exactly. And that reminds me of something else you said that I wanted to pick up on. And that is when you talk about, I know this about you, that there are very, very few things that you do that you don't go to your guides first. Correct? You're
Right.
always
Right.
You're always
That's really
getting
true.
You're tell me about that. How that works for you.
Yeah, I feel like I'm talking with them. Well, it becomes so automatic that I feel like I'm talking to them all day long, really. I think more than I even realize that I am. But certainly for any real, major decisions, I'm consulting my guides. But even for some of the smaller decisions, I'm consulting my guides because what I've learned is that.
Oops. Hold on, friends. She'll be back. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. For those of you that are hanging out here with me, this is so fun, and I'm so loving it.
I am too. And I'm sorry that I keep disappearing.
That's all right. But you keep coming back. That's the good news.
Okay. There we go. Yeah. But what I've learned is that the guides, there is no little or big to them, really. They're here to help us with everything. It doesn't matter if it's choosing what you're going to have for lunch or what you're going to wear, when you get up in the morning, or a life, relationship, or career decision. They are here for us for everything. And so truly, over the years, it has become this ongoing conversation. And I'm just so excited, to help people, anything that I can do to help people discover, really start that relationship, a conscious relationship with their guides. just like you, Pat, with your automatic writing. I know that you work with your guides too.
Yes.
And now here's this new way of really tuning in to let them speak to you and through you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing, how does it feel when you are actually doing the automatic writing? Not just afterwards, but during it.
It's like I'm not even present. You know, there's nothing going on up here. It's like there's no voice, there's no thoughts, I'm present to just what's going. And sometimes, Deb, my arm hurts when I get done because I've been writing so fast. So you know, there is nothing that is distracting me when that's happening. I'm just there.
Yeah. So present.
Yeah,
So completely present. Yeah. And at one with spirit.
exactly.
Sounds
And I
like
love
just-
it.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
doesn't happen
And
every
isn't that
day.
something? I think that's, yeah. Do you feel called to it? Do you know when it's time to sit down that
Yes.
something's about to come through?
I feel,
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I try to do it, or I don't like the word try. Most mornings I will pick up the pad and I'll sit there, and sometimes nothing happens. And I just put the pad down and I'm done. Nothing was there. Other times I'll have the nudge, pick up the pad. It's you got something coming. So it's really interesting how that shows up.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
I'm able to let it go now. I'm able to not worry whether there's going to be something coming or not. And the other thing that happens with that for me is
Great.
oftentimes what comes first is a vision of something. The other day it was a peony, that flower. And then my writing goes all about that peony. It's so weird.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun. Oop. There she is. There she goes. She's running down the hall. She's going to come back any minute now. Stay with us. There. Oops. There she comes. That is so weird how that's happening with the internet, but it's all good. I know you're coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that it's, I'm not away for too long. It just picks right back up again. So, but I love that about the peony. I
Yeah.
think that's the thing, is that we don't always know for sure why they're talking to us about a particular thing.
Yeah.
We certainly don't know what it is, what the message is going to be, but that willingness to just trust whatever comes through and then look at it later. And for me, sometimes it can be, hours later, weeks later, months later, that I'll go back and read something that, a piece of automatic writing, and then it will really make sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it was a preview of something that was going to happen in my life that I wasn't aware of,
Mhm.
when it came through, or it's a symbol of something that I didn't know about yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the wisdom, you really get a sense of how, that big picture that they
Right.
have that we don't,
Exactly.
how
Exactly.
important it is that we connect to that
Yes.
and how valuable that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you have
Yeah.
any classes
And that, I think, if there's, yeah.
Go ahead and finish your thought. I'm sorry.
No, I think that's just why it's, if there's one thing that I could really, like, if I could wave a magic wand, which we all can in certain ways, but if there's one thing, that I would love for everybody to know, it would be, you are not alone. We are never alone. We've always got that help from our guides. We can always turn to them. We can have that relationship, and it's not difficult to develop, to start. Well, I think all of us already have relationships with our guides, but to
Yes.
start a really conscious, intentional, deliberate relationship, it's not difficult to do. To know that they are as eager to have that relationship with us as
Yes.
we are with them is really important, and it brings so much to our lives.
Absolutely. I'm so grateful for that. Do you have any classes that you've got coming along that might be of interest?
Yeah, actually, I do. I've got one that will be starting in January. Let me look up the date. It is, I have to go to my calendar.
Yeah.
It'll be January 21st, and it's called Empowerment. Rather than empowerment, it's
Yeah.
empowerment. And it will be a 5-month class all about how we can go inside and find the power within us.
Mm,
Because I think there's always a concern about, people outside of us having
yes.
power.
Yes.
And we can feel like victims, we can feel hopeless, helpless, disempowered. But the truth is, all of the power that we need truly is in us. We just have to look for it in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
So the empowerment class will be 5 months of, I'll have Zooms twice a month, weekly emails, lots of communication and messages and meditations, guided meditations to help everyone go inside and really tap into that authentic power within. There's such a difference between ego power that's about trying to have power over others
Mm-hmm.
and higher power, which is just wanting to spread our light, stand.
Oops, hold on. She'll be right back. She'll be right back with us in just a second. Let's see. Here she is. There she
Yeah.
is. All right. So when
Okay,
you
so
when you say it's a 5-month class, is it once a month or is it once a month?
well, the Zooms will happen twice a month.
Okay. Okay.
So there'll be an hour every other Tuesday, starting on the 21st of January. And then there'll be an email every week, meditations, so other opportunities to connect as well.
Good.
There'll be a journal that'll go along with it. So lots of, community connection with one another and discussion, lots of exercises and journaling and meditations to help everyone go within.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think, it's such a powerful time again. To me, that's where and how we will move to higher consciousness.
Right. Right.
Our egos always want to look at what's outside of us
Right.
and can
Right.
feel very overwhelmed by what's
Yes.
outside of us.
Yes.
But when we go inside and tap into our higher power and our connection with spirit, then we realize we have all the power we need, and it's real power.
Yes.
It is the power of the light and the love that we are.
Right. I was listening to.
So that one will be starting up. I'll be getting the word out about that.
Whoops! You'll be getting the word out when? You just froze up, honey.
Starting December 16th.
Okay. And
I'm
so where
sorry.
would people where could people find you?
Starting
What's your website?
Yeah, it's DebraEngle.com, DebraEngle.com.
Okay.
And so we'll post the details there starting December 16th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then, of course, I'll also have my Course in Miracles classes. Those are ongoing.
Mm-hmm. I was just listening to somebody the other day, and he was and one of the things that they were talking about is to really bring home to people that the power is within us. It's not outside power. We have the power, and to start really tapping into that. So what you're doing here is totally aligned with that whole, as we move into from the old consciousness into the new consciousness, which is what 2025 and beyond is about. Then that's so important. So important. Oh, we lost her again. Ah, we'll get her back and then we'll say goodbye to her. I've got somebody else coming on soon, so hopefully they'll have a better internet connection. We'll see. There you go. There she's back. Okay. So we've garnered a lot of what you've said. It's just come in pieces. So it's all good. Is there anything else that you would like to share with folks before I let you go?
Just how much I appreciate you and Unity and your whole community and everything that you're doing to raise consciousness, to bring people together. I grew up in the Unity Church in Des Moines, Iowa. And so I know how unique it is, what a place of real connection it is, real connection to ourselves, each other, and to Source, and how needed it is. Because I think there are a lot of people who are looking for a home, some kind of spiritual home, and just don't necessarily know, that Unity can be that home, because it does help all of us go inside ourselves, feel connected to each other, but also feel connected to Source, to God, in that pure, personal, authentic way.
Yes.
And I just think it's so important what you're doing and how you're growing. Because you are doing incredible work in this world. And boy, I just think the need is growing and growing. And the more outreach there is for what Unity is all about, and specifically what you and your community are all about, the better. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I lift you up.
You are definitely one of those people that I turn to and will continuously hope that we keep our connection strong, because and I know that some of the folks from Unity go to your Course in Miracle group during the week, and so our connection is continuously connected, and I so
It is.
appreciate you. Yeah. I love you. I bless you.
It is. Thank you, Pat. Thank you. Thank you. Such a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, darling. Have a great rest of your
Love
night.
you. Yeah.
Love you too.
Okay. You too.
Take care.
See you soon.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And now off we go, and I'm going to be hosting in just a few minutes somebody that many of you know, and hopefully will be here to welcome them. If you're not hoping, let's see what's going on here. I see some of you still sticking with me. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And hopefully some more people will jump on in the next couple of minutes. Dinner time is almost over. And we are, let me see where we are. I'm going to give you. We are just at $10,000. So we're halfway to our goal at this moment, and I am so grateful for that. So if you're listening and can jump on and give us just whatever you can give will be gratefully appreciated. And let me see. Where are we next? So then a couple of things that I want to share with you is we will be doing a remembrance service on December 11th. And a remembrance service is for those of you who may have lost somebody during this last year. It may be a pet, it may be a person, it may be a job, it may be a relationship, whatever it is. This is the time to come and share your loss with others and feel the love that is coming towards you. That will be online, and I will invite you to bring a picture, if you have one, of the person that you're wanting us to know. And then on the 15th of December, which is a Sunday afternoon, we will be having a sound journey for the holidays with Jason and Rebecca Lewind. And I am looking forward to that. This is, again, a time for us to just do a little self-care as we prepare for the next 10 days after that before Christmas. So that will be at 3:00, and it will run from 3 to 4:15. And then we have the winter solstice. And the winter solstice is the time of the year when it's the shortest day of the year. And that means that starting after that, the days are starting to get longer again. And Ellie Newman is going to be doing a winter solstice ceremony with us. And that will be from 4 to 5:30 on a Saturday, the 21st, which is the solstice. And then we have Christmas Eve, and our service will be at 4:00 on December 24th. There will be no service on the 25th. And then the following Sunday, we will be doing our Burning Bowl service. And so that will be on the 29th, I believe it is. So we will not be doing an actual New Year's Eve service. It will happen on the Sunday before. So those are some of the things to be looking forward to over the next, in this next month coming up. And let me see what else I might have for you. I am holding for the next couple that are coming on, and I'm so excited to be hosting them. And they have some exciting things that they're doing, just as Deb does. People's lives are very involved right now in making the world a better place. And that's what I hear from, what Deb is doing. And everybody right now is looking for ways to what's the word I'm looking for? I know for myself, I want to bring more joy into my life, and I'm the only one that can do that. I can decide what I'm going to do and what joys I'm going to offer up for myself. So it is a time for us to really pay attention to the things that we're saying yes to the things that we really want to be saying yes to, and not to the things that we don't. So that's an important piece, and it's a very important one that we continue to hold, that we are being kind to ourselves as well as kind to other people. Because the more that we're kind to ourselves, the more that we will be available for other people. And that's a good thing to remember as we're heading into the holidays, because we can overcommit, and that doesn't work if we overcommit. So, anybody have anything you want to put in the chat? I'm reading the chats. Tell me who's on. I don't know who's here. Tell me who's with me right now. Yvette, are you still here? Meredith, are you still here? Who else? Help me out. Help me out. Let me know. I'm not seeing anything. All righty. All righty. Oh, Julie's still here. I'm still here, though cooking dinner. Okay, good. Thank you, honey. I'm glad you're here. I hope you're having something good for dinner. Oh, Ashley's still with me. Hi, Ashley. Sarah and Connor, say hi. Hi, honeys. Yes, yes. Bring them on Sunday. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying, Julie. And tofu for dinner. Okay. Are you vegetarian? All right. Holy cow, I've been on here for 2.5 hours. Okay. My guests are wondering where I sent her link. Oh. Okay, hold on. Hold on, hold on. What? What? My little kitty cat's talking to me. That's who I'm talking to. Okay, guys. I had the wrong email address, so my next guest didn't have the link, but we're getting there. Okay. Said they'll be on in a minute. Oh, you're going to love these people. You're going to love what they have to say. They're going to give us a little practice. We've been so blessed tonight to have Julie singing to us, Wiley singing to us, Jessie giving us her time and remembering the things that happened when she was here at Unity of Greater Portland. And now we'll have another meet and greet coming right up. And let me tell you where we are. Did I just tell you where we were money-wise? I didn't. Did I? I think I did. Over 10,000. Yes. Thank you all. Oh, Danielle, hi. Okay, here they come. Yay! I sent it to, I don't even have that email address that you sent.
Yeah, that's probably one that you don't have.
I
But
don't.
yeah, it gave me a little trouble, I thought, for a second, but we're in.
Yes, you are. And who are you? Tell us who you are.
Yeah, so I am Leah Rush, and I'm a HeartMath certified trainer and then also a certified hypnotherapist.
I am Kyle Boyd, and I'm a heart math coach and a heart math trainer, and I love teaching people how to get in touch with their heart.
I love you both. I love you both. I'm so happy that you're here with us tonight. And Leah and I go back a long ways.
We sure do.
We were just reminiscing over text the other night how we love each other. You know,
I always know when she's getting a text from you because she's always lit up.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks, girl.
She's my adopted daughter.
That's what she says. Yep.
I love it. I love it. So you guys are doing some amazing stuff. Tell me how it started, and well, tell the folks first of all, what is the name of the is it a podcast or what is it that you call it?
Mm-hmm. So we have our YouTube channel, and then our general group name is the Heart Coherence Collaborative, the HCC.
And how did that start? And tell us about it.
Yeah. So at a certain point, Kyle had already been a coach, and then it was near the beginning of us knowing each other. And he said, "Oh, they're doing this training, and I can get you a discount." So honestly, at that point, I think I just would have probably done anything he was doing. But I had done a little bit of heart coherence stuff through meditations that I had experienced, and it seemed like a good idea. So we got trained, and then Kyle had been doing challenges with his friends where they would do 30 days of heart coherence meditation.
Yeah. So for me, basically, I had learned heart coherence in a time where I was really struggling, and it changed my life. And I kind of wanted to find ways to hold myself more accountable. So I reached out to all my buddies and I harassed them, and I was like, "I'm going to send you meditations every day for 30 days. You better do them with me, and let's see what happens, you know?" And I genuinely thought that it was probably just me doing them, but and that my friends were just playing along. But at the end of the 30 days, they were like, "Wow, that was really powerful. Could we do it again?" And there was some real magic in this heart coherence energy. And so what started with just a few people quickly grew. More people wanted to do these 30-day heart coherence challenges. And then, Leah came in and decided we should make a Facebook group. And then it just exploded to now we have like 50 to 100,000 people doing these challenges.
It's amazing. Just amazing.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. It was like when we first started we had the Facebook group, and I remember I had taken like a I don't know, we're always in a million workshops and things. And I remember in that group, it was like a business with the nervous system in mind kind of a group. And they were talking about, just do a Facebook Live. And I remember that felt crazy. Just, oh my God, we would go on and do a Facebook Live. And that seemed so intimidating.
You know what's so crazy, Pat? I just realized this, but our whole beginning was right here on this StreamYard.
It was
Facebook Live, because we used the StreamYard Facebook Live. And I remember like the first ones we would do, we were at like a concert and we went outside by the water and we'd have like 3 people come on and it would be so awesome. It was like the best feeling ever. And it's growing so quickly.
And the thing that happened was we were doing everything through Facebook Live. And this is one of those times where God throws you a challenge that becomes the path. There was a glitch and Facebook Live was not streaming things. It was broken.
Yeah.
And so we needed to come up with a solution. So we said, okay, well, we'll have to put them on YouTube and then start linking the YouTube. And then all of a sudden that became our YouTube channel, which is really our primary platform now.
Yeah. And so what happened somewhere along the lines, we decided to just start inviting spiritual leaders around the world to be a part of the the challenge and come, serve our community by sharing a heart-centered message. And that evolved too, where we've gotten some really amazing people and we've connected with some of the coolest organizations in the world. And, now that we've gotten to a certain size, we're really just trying to seek out people with really powerful heart-centered messages.
You guys are doing such amazing stuff, and I've been wanting so much to get you publicized within our community, because I jump on. I mean, you are having some of the most amazing people come and share, and I'm just blown away.
Thank you. And one of the things is that, like, in the past, it's been so much of just bringing people on. But one of the things that's going to be a little bit different about this upcoming challenge, which starts December 13th, is we're going to be coming on and doing our own sort of teaching. So I'm going to be teaching 3 different step heart math process that teaches you and guides you into getting coherent on your own without needing a meditation, but how you can just take this practice with you to benefit you throughout the day. Leah is going to be doing a lot of hypnotherapy teachings. And so we're going to mix ourselves into this whole beautiful heart energy this time.
Wow. And that starts, when did you say, December 13th?
Yes, December 13th. We're kicking it off with 2 amazing meditations. So just to give everyone a quick recap, every day we send out a heart coherence meditation for 30 days. And that's what the challenge is. It's just to do a heart coherence meditation every day for 30 days. Science has shown that when you practice heart coherence for sustained periods of time, that's when you'll see these changes at a physiological level permanently. And so when you do this for 30 days, you basically download an entirely new operating system, new attitudes and outlooks on life. It's increasing your emotional baseline. It's fantastic.
So that's like up leveling.
Yeah. You're basically
really
raising the vibration, whatever you want to say.
Yes.
Up-leveling.
Yes.
It's
Wow.
it's a path forward, because I think, a lot of people talk about manifestation. It's become so popular. And I think the key thing that everybody has to realize eventually is that you attract what aligns with you. And
Absolutely.
this is a way to be in a higher state, so that it's very practical. If you are practicing heart coherence, you will have better relationships, you'll sleep better, you'll just be overall not draining your energy. But also, if you're in that state, you are going to align with the things that probably your heart wants.
Yes. It's a powerful, powerful tool. So be ready. If you're going to join us, be ready.
Well, so I want to be able to put that out into our community so that they can join you with that. So when you're ready to do that, let me know so we can get it into Heart Thoughts. And because we want to support you in this, and all it's doing is giving our community that lift as well. So partnering together is what I would love to see us do. I also want to say you have had some of the most interesting people come on. I have fallen in love with Daryl Anka.
We have a new interview of him coming out Thursday if you're interested.
Oh, and I mean him and Bashar are just he's such a clear teacher.
Yeah, we hear that a lot.
Teacher. Yeah. And Lee Harris.
Lee's
lovely.
Yeah, he's next level.
I subscribe to his portal.
Yeah.
So you're just I'm just loving the things that you're doing and the people that you're having on. Who do you have coming up? Anybody that you can tell us about?
Yeah, I mean, we have Lee Harris coming back, and he's going to do another interview that's amazing. Paul Selleck's coming back.
Paul Selleck's another one.
We
Sarah
have
Landon.
Sarah Landon's phenomenal. And then we have Dawson Church. He's a sleeper, but he is somebody who is probably one of the most brilliant men, highest vibrating men that you'll ever come across. Just a real joy to be around. And he's guiding to open our whole ceremony up. His Bliss Brain meditation, which he's updated. So he's created this meditation that combines all the best healing techniques that he's studied to show have the deepest healing. Some even heal like PTSD. So he's put all these techniques into one meditation that's so powerful.
Wow.
And it is really good. And Amrit Sandhu is this yogi who's studied with, Eckhart Tolle, and he's going to be doing an opening meditation. So the people that are coming on and doing meditations, it's really powerful. And then, I'm putting a lot of time into my heart coherence educational stuff. I'm really excited about that. But we have literally like so many people coming on. I can't even list them all. John Gray, Men Are From Mars.
John Gray. Yeah.
Yeah. Mark Anthony Lord is doing
would
forgiveness
love him.
meditation. Yeah. He's speaking all about A Course in Miracles.
Do you know him? He's a Unity person.
Yeah, he is.
He's a Unity minister.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. His meditation or channeling, whatever you want to call it, was just profound.
Yeah.
Who else did we have? Did you have it?
Sri Kumar
Dr.
Rao.
Rao. Yeah, he was cool.
Really good. He basically started studying all of the great ancient teachings and to apply them to having a successful life. So he taught a course that was at, I think it's Stanford, one of the universities that you wouldn't think would necessarily be open to that. And it became one of their most popular classes. So he doesn't teach anymore, but he put that into a program. He's just all the classic wisdom from different religions and practices.
Yeah. And then one of the coolest parts, like there's the people that those are exciting, but then we're also getting the community involved where they're submitting meditations. So anybody that has a really powerful heart coherence meditation can submit it, and we'll broadcast it on our channel. And then also we're starting to find, like I said, those heartfelt conversations. So I actually, somebody in my breathwork group recommended this guy from Africa who's an Africa bushman named Q7 Beckett, and he hunts in Africa with his bare hands, but he basically is just this amazing human being who no one knows about, and we're gonna share his message because he's really cool.
Wow. So are the interviews that you've had previously, are those on your YouTube channel?
So we have a lot on our YouTube channel. The ones that we're naming now, the Daryl will be released on Thursday. Except for that, they're all for the challenge that runs for 30 days.
Right. Well, I get that. But I'm talking about people that you've had on previously.
They're all on our YouTube.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
I just love the enthusiasm that both of you have for what you're doing. I mean, it's so palpable.
It's all her. She's such a lovely, sweet lady.
And watching you when you have these guests on and the questions that you ask them, I mean, it's just amazing to watch you two with them, and it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think that's one area that it's very unique, but I think it's what makes us do really well is the fact that it's two, a man and a woman asking very unique perspectives, because her questions are not my questions are not her questions.
Right.
Together we cover a good amount of what people are probably wondering about,
Yes, absolutely. It's pretty phenomenal. So I'm excited to have the opportunity for people to get to hear from you, because this is really something that I've been wanting to have happen, because I know you guys are doing amazing work. And it's what we need right now.
Yeah.
There's so much anxiety out in the world right now. People are feeling so anxious and so uncertain. And so it's important that they have the opportunity to know that there's some place that they can get some support on a regular basis. I mean, you guys are doing stuff all the time.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up with you.
I agree. It's hard to keep up with ourselves.
I'm the wild man. She's more grounded. But the one thing that I'm excited about is this challenge. We're really going to be teaching people how to bring the heart with them everywhere they go. So even if the interviews are all over the place, we're going to be really clear on how to achieve coherence without a meditation, just how you can do it on your own and how you can take that everywhere. So if you're listening and you're struggling, I've been there. Trust me, I'm with you. But this 3-step process that we're going to teach you is going to help you, get through the holidays and hopefully into the new year.
Yeah. So somebody's asking, what's the name of your YouTube channel? I'm going to put it in the chat.
Kicking It with Kyle. No, I'm just kidding. Somebody asked me if that was our YouTube channel today, and so
Loving it with Leah.
yeah, it's the Heart Coherence Collaborative.
Collaborative. Okay. I don't know how to spell collaborative, but that's all right. They'll get it. They'll understand.
I can type it in too.
Collaborative.
I think I got it right. I'm not sure.
You got
There
it.
we go.
So,
There was something else that I wanted to mention too. I know that, and Leah, you and I had a little back and forth about this, but when you're ready to teach the hot math for accreditation or for whatever, please let us know, because I've talked to a couple of people and they're saying, "Oh, I want to take it," and I want to take it. So let us know when you're ready.
yes,
Yeah.
we'll connect on that. I think,
Okay.
We're close. Yeah.
yeah, we're close. And after this challenge settles down, I think.
Yeah. I think really probably we're looking at like a February, March. We'll be doing a lot of
Perfect.
training. So,
Perfect.
Thank you, Cindy. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Oh, you guys are seeing the stuff. Yeah, I now how can people get your get on your email list so that they get what you're sending out?
Yeah, so if you go to our website, you can register there and you'll be registering for the next challenge. And that by default puts you on our email list.
And what's the website?
HeartCoherenceCollaborative.com.
All right. That's easy enough. Okay. .com after the Hot Coherence Collaborative, guys. Because I know you've been asking because you want to get now you said you had 1%. What, tell me again what that was.
Oh, the subscriber rate?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so when we started looking at it, and we had 1% or less of people who watched subscribed. It's actually a great number. It seems pretty low, but it's a wonderful number if you can get 6% to subscribe. So we started asking people to subscribe because everybody complains about all the negativity out there, but if you subscribe to something, YouTube will put it in the algorithm. So it's a way to really spread the heart. Plus you'll get all the new videos. If you
Yes.
put on your notifications. So we asked, and actually we hit 6%.
Did you? Oh, yay.
Yes.
Yay.
Which is amazing. So our channel in just a few months has grown even more, because sometimes if you don't ask people, they don't do the thing that you would like them to do. It's
That's
like
right.
that simple thing, even in basic.
I was listening today to a woman who works for Google, and she was talking about emails, and she said, put your ask at the very beginning. Because
Yes.
if you don't put your ask at the beginning, people don't read all the way through, and only have one ask. So
Yeah. Oh,
if you-
that's good.
I like that a lot.
subscribe now. So just put subscribe now, and then put what you want after it.
Oh,
So-
that's good. Thanks for that wisdom. We'll integrate that, because I will find something in an email could be the third sentence.
Yes.
And we will get someone asking about something that is actually, there's our Riz dog is barking. Yeah, people will ask you about it. So that's a good idea. We're going to start putting the things.
Don't worry about your dog. We already had that conversation. The dog is welcome.
Thank you.
You're-
That's
you're-
really boy. You
Come
wanna
be a
come
movie
say
star.
hi?
He had his
So
first
jump
day
up.
at daycare. He's a star today. He made a bunch of new friends.
Oh, look.
Yeah, he killed it in daycare today. All the ladies loved him. So
He got evaluated and accepted into training daycare. So he's
Perfect.
our
Perfect.
star.
Perfect. So are you going to give us a little demonstration?
yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Basically, do
Do you want to just do?
Some
I
heart
think
focused
if
breathing?
we did, or we could just do the actual like a real quick coherence technique. What would you like to do? I think.
Well, I think because we're going to be building on it, I
Yeah,
think
let's
it'd
start
be
with
really
heart
it really
focus.
helped because there's 3 techniques
Mhm.
that Heart Math teaches that are the steps to becoming coherent. And so the first one is heart focused breathing. And it's a very deceptively simple and easy to use technique. But if you actually practice this technique, it's a powerhouse. And so what I like to, think about is you know, when you have like a kid in your life that comes up to you and he's like crying about something, you know, most parents, what would they say to that kid?
Stop crying.
They'd say stop crying. Yeah, a lot of times they say stop crying, and sometimes they'll say take a deep breath, right? You know, take a deep breath or just calm down. And the reason we do that is because it helps shift their focus away from whatever it is that they're focused on into a more stable, calm place where they can have better thoughts and emotions. So you think about that kid coming up to you and you say, hey, you know, stop crying, take a deep breath, right? And you try to introduce something that will help him. But oftentimes when we as adults are going about life and we're stressed out, are we taking that advice ourselves? Are we doing the things that'll actually calm us down and help regulate our nervous system? And so breathing techniques have been around for thousands of years. And the reason they've been around for thousands of years is because they work. And so the heart focused breathing is the first step of the coherence building process, but it's also the first step in regulating your energy. And so what I'll do is I'll basically read the step to you right now, and then I'm going to explain it a little bit more, and then we can do it together, if that makes sense. And then Leah can explain some of the times that she likes doing it in her life, because I know she uses it a lot. Is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, the important thing is that you can do this with either your eyes open or closed. So it's a great
That is huge.
Just because you can be doing this while someone's talking to you, while you're in a business meeting, while you're on Zoom. So it's a very important thing to know that it's actionable and you don't have to be in some meditative state with your eyes closed.
Yeah, that is really huge. We taught like the police and fire of Boston this technique, and it's so they can use these techniques when they're going to a scene, not when they're like in some deep relaxation technique. So we will, you know, in our challenge, we're going to teach that deep meditative heart coherent state, but this is the first step in getting there. And so the step, the heart focused breathing is to focus your attention in the area of your heart. And we'll do it in a minute, but you can just listen for now. And imagine that your breath is flowing in and out of your heart or chest area, breathing a little slower and deeper than usual. And so why do we do that? Why do we focus our attention in the area of our heart? Science has shown that when you focus your attention in an area, you automatically change the physiology of that area. And so when we focus our attention in the area of our heart rhythms become more orderly and you start to get coherent. You start to obtain all the benefits of coherence. And as Leah was saying earlier, the benefits of coherence are endless. I mean, increased longevity, increased immune response, basically improved sleep, mental clarity. Greg Braden, I don't know if you're familiar with Greg Braden, but his quote is that everything is better with heart coherence. And so we're changing the physiology of our body just by focusing the attention on our heart. And on top of that, this is the big thing. We're actually moving our focus off of whatever's going on in our life away from that. And so you're cutting down on the stress response. So this technique is such a powerful tool whenever there's a stress going on in your life, to cut that energy down and to reobtain a calm but alert state. And so we can try it now. We'll just do it for a minute. And if it helps, you can put your hand on your heart, but focus your attention in the area of your heart and imagine that your breath is flowing in and out of your heart or chest area, breathing a little slower and deeper than usual. And you can just find a rhythm that's comfortable for you. Just breathe in and out of your heart. Really focus your attention on your heart. And we'll just do this for a minute. All right. Yeah. So heart focused breathing creates a pause in life where you then get to choose how you want to respond. I should probably use this more often. But whenever you use heart focused breathing, it creates a pause and you get to choose. And so the next step that we'll be teaching as part of our 30-day heart coherence challenge is how to activate a renewing emotion. So emotions are really where you get those deep, powerful coherence benefits. You start with heart focused breathing, and then you learn how to activate a renewing emotion. And then we'll teach you how to sustain that renewing emotion for a longer period of time. And so you can go from a fearful person to a grateful person if you practice these 3 techniques regularly.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm excited. I'm going to be joining that the 30-day.
Good.
Yeah,
Yes.
beautiful. That means a lot to us, Pat. Thank you so
Well,
much.
And
I so support what you guys are doing.
That means
It's
a lot.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
And we support what you're doing, so keep us in the loop. We definitely
Thank
want
you.
to get over there and help
Yes.
out however we can.
Yes, I'd love for you guys in 2025 to come and either do a workshop or do whatever. But oh, Cindy's going to join you for the 30 days too. We'll get people on here, and we'll get people just in another world.
yes,
love it.
and just know Riz is the main trainer. So he seems like he's not with it now, but he'll be teaching all the techniques.
Yeah, he's where we get the wisdom from. So
I bet. I love you guys.
yeah.
Is there anything else? Anything else you want to tell people? Where to find you? What to do? Anything else?
No, just register for the challenge. If somebody happens to already be on our email list, you're already registered.
Yeah.
And if you do participate, you know, if you're very focused on what's going on outside of you and you're not feeling peaceful about it, it is not the world's fault. It's about you and your internal state. So that is the barometer, your emotional baseline. And we can blame everything. I mean, hey, we can blame politics. We can blame our parents. You might be right, but it's not a great way to live in your body and in your spirit. So if you're not feeling good right now, it's not about this.
That's right.
About
Yeah.
this.
And
That's
this is the most scientifically validated technique, breathing technique that exists. So it's very, peer review after peer review. This isn't just woo-woo. Like if you're struggling, I literally have been exactly where you are. And this technique is what really helped me get from somebody who was having panic attacks, couldn't speak in front of 6 people, to somebody who's now pretty comfortable, just rocking the mic wherever.
It's very evident that you guys are comfortable in your own skin right now.
Thank
It
you.
shows up.
Except I'm not comfortable that you said rocking the mic.
I know. I
Don't
embarrassed
say that again.
Give me this mic. I'm gonna start beatboxing. I'm gonna embarrass you.
And you guys are down in Massachusetts, right?
We're in Massachusetts now. Yes.
Yeah, we've made our way down by the ocean.
Mhm.
Beautiful
Nice.
here.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
All
we
right.
love you. We love Unity. We're so happy to do this, and we hope we see everybody with us in the challenge.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. We love
Bye,
you
everybody.
too. Bye.
Now, how do we check out?
I'll take you out.
All right.
Wow. Was that the best or what? Yes. Whew. Awesome. Awesome. I have one other person going to come on, and let me see.